Bitch, blade motherfuckers ain't stopping me. I pull up in these clothes, look so good. Cause I'm in now. You know, all these songs sound good. Cause I'm on that hoe. Dead ass. Dead ass. I'm dead ass. It's not the diamonds. It's not the pearl. I'm that girl.
I'm that girl.
It's just that I'm that girl.
I'm that girl.
It's not my man.
Ooh.
It's not the girl.
Ooh.
I'm that girl.
I'm that girl.
It's just that I'm that girl. From the top of the morning I shine right through the blinds, touching everything in my plain view.
And everything next to me gets lit up too. Welcome to If We Speak a Sons.
Yes, welcome to
If We Speak a Sons.
Renaissance. I cannot wait to be in the aisles of the theater on December 1st. This is how I move. This is how I move. This is
Ooh, these titties finna knock somebody out. You better be watching.
move out door.
I'm in my girls and we all need space.
Ooh, you're right, girl.
Yeah, jump out of
go. The way
you're right, girl.
makes the fellas go. Who this girl in the back of the room?
Huh?
Who this girl in the back of the room?
Huh?
Who this girl in the back of the room?
Huh?
It's the I'm saying, bro. Who this girl in the back of the room? Who this girl in the back of the room? Who this girl in the back of the room? It's the guy in the day. I'm saying, bro. I mean, I don't need to call him. I don't need no phone, yeah. I don't need you know me. You know me, I'm vibing. You and me, the vibe, yeah. Always catch a vibe. This is how I move. This is how I move. This is how we live. Dreamers like this. This is how we grow. This is how we care. Yeah. Welcome, friends.
Yeah.
I'm with my girls and we all need stays. Hey, y'all. How's it going?
It's popping, locking, and dropping, baby.
Oh, I like that. If you don't know who we are, I'm Gigi.
I'm Binx. Oh, we started. Yeah. I'm Binx.
Yeah, give it to him.
If We Speak a Sons.
Oh, it's
no.
okay.
Her lips aren't ashy.
Thank you. Because we're going to cut the cameras if they weren't.
Get it.
Cut the cameras.
I said, welcome to the If We Speak a Sons.
Renaissance. Renaissance. Oh, I missed you, Beyonce. I can't wait to see you on this for 2.5 hours, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, because she's my Avengers.
This is my Lord of the Rings.
Oh, my God.
This is my Avengers.
Oh, my God. And I'm
This
not
is
going
my
to miss a
Endgame.
minute. I'm not going to miss a minute. I'm going to be locked, glued. I don't think I'm going to blink if I can help it. Name an episode in which we don't begin saying Beyonce. Like,
sorry,
it's
the
This
Jenny
is
San
how
Juan
we
that we
move.
need.
This is how we move.
Yeah. How are you, baby?
I know how I am. How am I doing? I'm feeling lighter. I feel
love.
like, I don't know, I feel like good. I feel like I've let go of like
She didn't have to do that.
let go. No, I feel like I was just like doing a lot. Like I was doing a lot. And I feel like I just like let myself stop being perfect. And so I feel lighter because I feel like I've let go. I feel like I let go of a lot of perfectionism. I'll say that.
Yes.
I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I feel like that's a part of what I let go.
The astrology is going to tell you why.
Yes, yes, tell you, my baby.
Yes, we love that.
Yeah, I'm feeling lighter. I'm feeling grateful for health and wellness.
Woo,
girl.
So y'all, I know we didn't come to you last week with an episode. The plague hits our house.
Bitch, they got me so bad. They got me, girl. I mean,
tell the people.
Oh my God, girl. So, I was doing what I do for a check.
You do too for a check.
But
she's an employee.
I'm an employee. Okay. Not first. I'm a human first. But
yeah,
I'm about that bag. So I'm doing what I do to, make a bag and make it work. And part of that required me to go out of town for a food convention, which was really fun, really great. Until it fucking wasn't. And I literally got food poisoning, babe. I got the fucking plague.
It was bad. It was bad.
Oh my God. And okay. I've had food poisoning in the last year more times than I'd like to admit. But usually it's like a 24, 48 hour,
yeah.
I've recovered. I don't get sick often, I will say.
And you bounced back. Last night took an L, but tonight she bounced back.
I bounced back because I literally don't believe in sickness. It's so annoying. I hate being sick.
You need to start.
I don't believe in it. No, I have to cast it out. You have no power here. I hate being sick. And it's also slightly related. I am the world's worst patient because I never want to be in bed. I never want to sit my ass down. I don't want to sit and eat chicken soup and watch reruns. No, I don't. I want to work. I want to work and I want to type my things and I want to check off my to-do list and I want to be alive and I want to move. And I can't do that when I'm sick. And so I like to keep it tight. If we're going to do it, 72. Let's get it out of here. Get it out of here. I don't like it. And bitch, whatever the fuck caught me a week ago.
Slipping.
Caught me and held me down.
Oh!
She had me by the neck.
Oh!
When I say, I think this is maybe, the first 24 where I felt like a normal human being all day. She had me by the throat. I could barely breathe. I was the whole time, bitch. It had me. It turned me every way but loose, y'all. I'm telling the truth. So that's why there was no episode, girl, because...
Yeah, sorry. Sickness.
I had to be... House. I was deep in my prayer room, begging God. Yeah, so that's why there was no episode last week, girlies, because I was held by the throat.
At gunpoint.
Oh my God, that food poisoning had me messed up. But I'm back. I'm better than ever. With that, let's get into our star of the week. Binx, what's your star of the week?
My star of the week is an episode of this podcast that I love called The Friend Zone.
Yes, love The Friend Zone.
I love The Friend Zone. Your weekly look into all things mental health, mental wealth, and mental hygiene. Because who in the hell wants a musty brain? Yeah.
I sure don't.
It's called Been Here Before. It came out like, I think, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It's a part of their little spooky series for October.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and they talked about reincarnation, and my favorite story was of this little boy who helped solve the murder of his past life.
Oh.
He died by, like, an axe to the face.
Oh.
And he, like, led people to where his body was found because the boy that died went missing and no one had solved his murder. And then the new boy was born. And then he started talking. He was, like, 2, 3. Started saying all this weird shit. And his parents were like, wait.
Hold on.
And the newspaper saw that the boy was missing, and he was like, there. And, yup, sure enough.
Oh, my God. Being here before. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could you imagine your toddler being like,
nigga, what the
Benjamin
fuck?
Franklin.
No, nigga, what? I hope they come here fresh. Like, I feel like I was like, mommy, please. I was on Neptune before this. Oh, why?
Yeah, something cool.
Yeah, I want you to be doing your alien superstar shit. Don't tell me you been here. You done solved a couple. No, what?
Yeah, axe to the face.
And then they go and find you. Oh my God, no. I hope, bring me a little alien. Bring me somebody that this is their first go around on the human thing. And they just wanted to see what it was all about. Don't bring me no nigga that was here in 1832. No. Give me.
That's just so horrifying. Like, how do you deal with the fact that your kid knows that they, like, were died by axe last time?
Well, I promise to do better than they did.
And now you're supposed to learn your colors.
Again,
right.
You don't. Okay, so you remember you got killed, but you don't remember your colors from before? They don't get to keep that information.
Downloads. Like, some things are fresh.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's my star of the week.
That's so cool.
What about you? What's yours?
Funny enough, my star of the week, one of them, is something that I ate actually
after you got poisoned?
Before I got poisoned. Before I got poisoned. It was from this place called Lord's, and it's like this British, like restaurant in somewhere in New York. But they have a Scotch egg, and I am a bit of an connoisseur myself.
She's literally Ghanaian.
Black Star.
Yeah.
It's like a soft boiled egg, and then there's a deep fried curried lamb sausage around it.
Ooh, that's like a Scotch bonnet?
Yeah, like.
Is that what they call?
I feel like like the deep fry, and there's like
that is a British. Let me Google jujel.
Yeah, it was fucking delicious. It changed my life, and I don't know who got me sick, but I know it wasn't them. Because it tasted too good.
I'm screaming. I know. Oh, it's just called Scotch egg.
Yeah.
I call it a Scotch bonnet, like the peppers. Feeling hot. Yeah.
Yes. That was really delicious before I got sick. Now the entire weekend is like.
What if it was them?
I literally just said that it wasn't them. So no.
It wasn't them because it tasted good?
I literally know for a fact and in my heart that it was not them. So no, it wasn't. Thank you.
Period.
They would never do that to me. Who do I think it was? I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to put you on blast, bitch, but just know.
You will be dealt with.
You will be dealt with to the motherfucker or motherfuckers that got me and like half our team sick.
Yeah.
Bitch.
In 7 days, you'll begin to call.
You will wake up a guinea pig. In 7... I'm kidding.
Run on this hamster wheel,
I have to stop threatening to turn people into rodents. Like, it's one of my things. I'm
7 days.
I'm 7 days. I'm gonna come in.
Till you do right by me.
Till you do right by me. Anyway, that was fucking delicious. What else is my star of the week? You know what? I didn't get to talk about this last time. One of my stars of the week is the fact that Beyonce
Oh, yes.
To the
Renaissance, the film.
The film. We'll be there opening night.
Yeah.
Seated, ready, sat for all
Yeah.
2.5 hours. And, like, people have been talking about, like, how they wish it was going straight to streaming because, like, you know, I don't want to see no niggas dancing in the aisles. I'm
gonna be the
dancing
niggas dancing in the aisles.
I know that I am the niggas. Move out the way. Yeah. I'm with my girls and we all need space. Like, I
Unfortunately,
know.
I know my counts. So.
I'm going to show my ass.
You don't know your counts.
I'll be popping in there, motherfucker. Pop, bop, bop, bop. Yeah, that's, thank you, Beyonce. I miss her so much. I love her. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see this film. I can't wait to buy tickets again to see it again.
I can't wait for it to hit streaming. I know I am both niggas.
You're both niggas?
I am niggas who will be doing the robot. I will be the robot arm in the stands. And I'm also niggas that want to be cozy.
Yeah.
In my house.
But I'm going to be hitting 8 counts in my house.
Yeah, but I want to be like... like, I want to be cozy.
Cuddled up.
Like...
See, I can't be cuddled. She makes me sweat. Like, I can't be cuddled up.
Make me sweat.
She makes me feel...
Peekaboo.
Oh, yeah, I feel like any video, any documentary by Bouncy, I'm like up. I'm hitting my 8 counts. I'm dancing. I'm hitting my boom cat.
Boom cat.
That's part of my star. I've had so many stars. It was a good week for me. You know what? The week of being bedridden really helped me to appreciate and be grateful for all that was going right in my life, because when so much is going wrong, you gotta change your perspective. Somebody, that's a word. I'll take that with y'all. And also the Haunted Mansion remake.
That's a good movie.
I liked that movie.
It was a little oogity boogity.
I like the oogity boogity. Now I'm a horror movie girly. Like, I like a scary movie.
Y'all like.
I want to be. Oh yeah, I love a good jump. Ooga, jump scare.
Ooga. I don't like a ooga. I thought these for kids.
But you know what? Have you seen the original?
In the back of my mind.
I remember being a child and watching that and being like, wow, this is kind of scary. Like,
Like,
I remember being like, oh, we're involved.
Because I was like, this PG, baby. Like, this little PG.
Yeah, but the original is pretty scary for it to be a kid's movie too, and I loved it.
You should watch the original.
Oh my god, I love the original. I remember, like, I had the DVD, and
like, she was a stan.
I loved that movie because it was like the perfect balance of like comedy and like horror. So like, it was never like, oh girl, I can't go to bed after this. Like, it was never done like that. And Eddie Murphy is so funny, and I think like comedic acting in a horror film is like, it's a very delicate thing to do, because it is so easy to get hammy with it that it just kind of ruins the like genuinely like good like horror concepts that were happening in that movie. And like, I was so into it. I would play all the games to like go through the Haunted Mansion, and sometimes in the games like, certain characters would pop out. I watched director's cuts. Like, I was
that's her movie.
I feel like that was one of the foundational like scary movies. That was a part of my lore.
Oogadi Boog. And I can only imagine that one was scarier than this one, because we've gotten soft as a society. And I'm soft. I make no mistake, I am talking about myself. I am the soft that I'm talking about. But back then, they didn't give a fuck about kids.
Oh, not at all.
Not like that.
Not at all. I also feel like I was just watching so many like scary movies as a child that I should not have been watching.
What did you watch?
What is the Dead Silence was one of the first.
What's Dead Silence?
It's about this. God, it's been so long since I watched it, but it's basically about like somebody's coming to help this person who's like paralyzed, right? And they have this like caretaker, and so like they can't really talk or move their mouth much. But there's like this haunted puppet like ventriloquist doll that like haunts the main character. And
ventriloquist like, doll.
It's so I'm gonna watch it again. I really
not a fucking scary Pinocchio bitch.
It was really scary. I like forget if there was a big gag at the end. I'm not gonna reveal it. Maybe I'll reveal it. The guy in the wheelchair was dead the whole time, and the caretaker was.
I rebuke you! I rebuke it!
They were using him as a puppet, feeding him, like, hollowed him out like a doll. And so when she was spoon feeding him, it was going to a bowl behind his back. Nuts. I remember being terrified as a child and thinking it was the best thing that I'd ever seen or consumed in my life. And I watched it every single Halloween year, like, for years, because it was just so impactful. That was like, I was like, I'm terrified. I'm shitting, crying, and throwing up.
And she didn't expect it.
Oh my God. I didn't, because, before you don't really know what it's like to be terrified. Like,
terror.
But it was the first time I experienced true terror. And I was captivated by it. I was like, that was horrifying. Give me more.
I wonder what horror movies, like, astrologically are ruled by.
That's a good question. We gotta look that up because I love, like,
the Martian girls love that shit. I love shit.
Heart racing. Ooh.
As a girl, I started celebrating Halloween as an adult.
Oh.
Because my parents were.
They didn't play that. Did you go to Halloween? Oh,
we not participate.
Oh,
it's a regular day, baby.
Oh, you didn't even go to the six. Like, I feel like the real Christian kids. Well, like I grew up in the South. So, like, everyone's kind of, there's like a Christian median that you had to be to not be a social pariah. And, like, I was on the, like, I was in the medium end, right? Like, I knew enough about God to pass, but like I wasn't giving Jesus freak, But like, the
cool.
real,
I'm a cool Christian.
I'm a cool Christian. God loves everybody.
Yeah.
Hey God. Hey Jesus.
Hey God, it's me.
It's me, Margaret. Thank you so much, God, for this day. But like the real Christian kids that I knew, the black ones, they had Halloween, so like they got to dress up in like the church appropriate costumes, and they'd go from like trunk to trunk in
church,
the church.
Like Moses.
Yeah, or like a bunny, or like a
a bunny,
or like you dress up like you could be I guess you could be a pumpkin.
All the leftover costumes.
I don't know. My mama didn't play that, so my mom was like, "Oh no, we going trick or treating." So yeah, we went trick or treating. Like my mom, yeah, she said, "Oh, we're." My mom let you she let you do the wig, she let you do the makeup, she let you do the outfit. Like, we was gonna go around the neighborhood, and if we were able.
My mom thought I would get like a knife in my mouth or like poisoned,
yeah,
or like.
But
why would you go to other people's houses to ask for food like a big like a big I can take you to the store, you want candy, I can get you candy for demon holiday.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So have you like always just not been a scary movie person?
No. Because my parents let it be known that demons were real and that if I can see them I can see them. What the fuck was that?
The trash person.
Oh, you loud. I thought he came earlier.
No. Earlier when?
I heard someone at the door earlier.
Oh. Well, he usually come around this time. Like, he usually don't come that. He don't usually come before 10.
Alright, God. Because, that was loud as fuck. See, that's not me. That's not me.
Oh, my God.
The scariest movie I ever watched, Get Out.
Oh. Okay. Get Out was, okay, those were scary, but, like, not, like, horror. They were, like, thrillers.
Halloween Town. Twitches.
Halloween Town? Confession.
You didn't like it?
Never seen it. Halloween Town? Never seen it.
Butchie and Marnie is a classic.
Never seen it. I was never really interested in no white lady boogie.
You don't participate in white media.
And keep it funky. They was a little too white on Wizards of Waverly Place, so I didn't really watch it all that often. Sorry. I love Selena.
My parents hated that shit. Wizards! Harry Potter was an Ixnay. I read Harry Potter for the first time at 17 years old.
Oh my
and it was in secret
Ooh.
at Bukava's.
Oh my god! Like she was in jail.
No, African parents ask about it. African parents and wizards, witchcraft, casting spells. You might as well book that plane ticket.
Oh, I know y'all. I mean, I've heard stories, but whoa, who?
Like literally, I've also never seen the like spoofs, like the scary movies.
Oh,
I
didn't watch many of those either. I think people,
and I wouldn't get the references. So
yeah, and like I think people, I know some of the scary movies are good, but like I'm not into I didn't really.
You don't like parodies?
I do like some parodies. I like it when they're funny though, and so I don't think that there were as many scary movies as there were funny scary movies. And I was like, I feel like.
Have you seen one before that you liked?
Probably. I've seen this some scary shit. That's the one I've seen. That
with Regina?
Yes, with Regina.
Yeah, I've seen that on like Twitter.
Oh I watch it.
Yeah, the thing is, not too scared. I don't like my heart being in that place.
Oh my god.
I don't like being in my heart being in that place, and also my third eye a little active. So I don't like giving her ideas.
That's so fucking funny.
Crazy bitch, neck twisted, climbing on walls and shit.
Oh my god. I was all for it. Insidious.
Get out.
The Conjuring.
No.
Paranormal
The what?
Activity. Oh,
what? Yeah. Hey.
And I felt safe from it because I was like, only white people would tell me some stupid shit like that. And like, I think that for me, sorry, y'all would. Because look at you. Y'all did. All the movies. It'd be y'all. It'd be pilgrimage as fuck.
I want to see that movie.
Babadook.
The Blackening.
Babadook.
I don't even know what that is. Babadook.
Wait, what is Sinister? Sinister. Oh, that's a good one. Sinister. Oh. Trip to Busan.
I'm getting nervous. See, things like
zombies,
that.
Bitch.
Things like that. I can watch like zombie, vampire, like gore. I can watch like monster movies, demonic movies.
The demon ones don't scare me. Zombies scare me more than demons. Cause what do you mean you're dead, but no, you not? Whoa. No, but that's why Trip to Busan was terrifying because every zombie movie is like, oh, they doing the little thriller creep, bitch. Trip to Busan, the motherfuckers got jets.
I want to see it.
Bitch, that
I want to see it.
They got like that, baby. They would have been the guy.
I'm sorry.
And do you get faster after a zombie? Because I feel like
would you just lay out?
I would run. I would hide.
I would give it the good old college try, baby. You got me.
No, I want to wind up on me. Oh, I feel like my fight or flight would kick in.
I would get some makeup.
Okay.
And
that is so theater.
I can play the part.
But what happens when they start running?
I didn't get the update.
That's my question. Like, do you get faster if you're bitten as a zombie? Because I'm not fat. I'm not a very fast runner.
Are there fat zombies? Is zombie? Do you slim down
like,
in death?
I feel like I've seen some portlier zombies on like.
So they zooming?
Well, I didn't see them in Trip to Busan.
See, it's fat phobic ass.
I mean,
I've also never seen a fat vampire.
You think they had to do a little 40-yard sprint to like audition for the extra role? Baby, yeah, I would have been a convincing.
See, I would appreciate it more if they're a little portly, because that really means that they're doing the dash on them. Would you rather be a vampire or a zombie?
That's a good question. I'd rather be a vampire, I think.
But drinking blood, because we watched Interview with a Vampire too. We will do an episode on that because I want to dive deep.
Yes, the interracial agenda is so.
It's sick. It's sick and twisted. We wanted to see that in 1910 New Orleans.
You know, I believe in interracial relationships as long as
but also only a cracker would do that shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you immortal so that you can be with me forever.
Bitches
is Twilight.
Girl, and then like there is no informed consent whatsoever.
He said, well, you're gay. Isn't that hard?
Yeah, but I still be gay with you, bitch. Like
no, yeah, but he was like, you're gay and they don't like that. I like that. And he was like,
so I'ma just have you be mine forever.
Yeah, and he was like, wow, I'm wanted. But then you had to eat blood, and it was every time.
Them terms and conditions. Yeah, I mean, hopefully I don't get the little bullshit vegan, vegetarian, vampire shit that he got. As long as I don't get that shit, I'm okay.
Eating raccoons and shit.
Oh hell no, hell no. You think I'm gonna eat a pigeon before I off some nigga? Oh, you got me fucked up.
I'm yelling. You don't care about human life?
Not some of them. Some of y'all.
Not some of them.
No, some of you niggas gotta go. Some of you Oh, sorry, big dog.
Oh, yuck.
We all gonna die anyway. Well, not all of us. I'm a vampire. But
not all of us. Oh no.
But you gotta go anyway. So you expect me to go get some raccoons?
Yes!
Hell no, yeah.
Get a little pig.
Yeah, give her the vegetarian vampire blood, because don't get it. No, I'll take it. That's fine. What?
I feel like I would
pigeon? Rat? Like that man was eating rats.
I feel like I'd go rabid, because I wouldn't want to drink anybody.
Right.
Because, ew.
And I'll find somebody. Reparations now.
Yuck.
Oh, I chomp up a rich bitch and still give it the passcodes, and I'll save you.
Thank you. If you could you keep drinking from somebody like a long
a long Capri Sun?
Yeah.
Well, I think per the film or the TV show, like within a certain, there's a little ritual you do, but like within a certain time span, I think they turn into a vampire, don't they?
They have to drink your blood too.
Oh, okay.
Before they turned into a vampire. So you would bite them and oh!
And if they stay alive and you drain them, they go tell everybody you're a vampire. I gotta kill you.
Huh?
Because they go tell.
They wouldn't. It feels euphoric, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. We gotta rewatch it. Because I forgot the details. But it seemed like niggas got off on that shit, and then they were like. And then they felt like they died. And then, yeah, you still feel the death part. You feel like acid in your lungs and shit. And then you get mad hungry.
Yeah, okay, then I'm eating people. Sorry.
Would you still stay connected to, your buddies and stuff?
That's sad. I feel like I'd have to tell y'all. I'm a vampire, bitch. Would you be friends with me if I was a vampire?
Yeah, well, I'm hungry.
Not for you. I'm gonna eat you.
But that was the thing. He was struggling.
To not eat his family? Well, that's because he was vegetarian. That's because you over here eating rats, bitch.
But then he had to, hold his nephew, and he was like...
Oh, you can hear his heart beating.
He was like, ooh, fresh,
tasted delicious.
Ooh, fresh.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Oh, but then his family,
They shut him because they knew something was wrong. Them people, them Creole peoples knew. They knew.
Yeah, they said, what the fuck? And because, nigga, we're 80. And you're 25.
You still look the exact same.
And it's just, you can't even plastic surgery. 1910 Louisiana, baby.
You just stopped aging.
The devil's in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would you rather be a vampire or a zombie?
Zombies can't talk.
So what's a big vampire?
But blood is so...
I'll be popping in bitches like a Capri Sun. Sorry, girl.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
I wouldn't, but
Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky, when I catch you, and I'm drinking all my ops first, bitch. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm spitting.
Okay, yeah.
Because if I have to kill people, right, with my blood-sucky fangs. Oh yeah,
Vigilante justice.
Oh yeah, that bitch who was talking shit about my t-shirt in the 7th grade.
Catch her up first, baby.
We gon' see, baby. We gon' see whose shirt was stupid, bitch. Hope yours is cuter in your casket.
I'm crying.
Oh yeah, I'm a vampire. My ethical code can't be the same as I'm a human who's gonna die in 70 years. No, I have to. My entire moral system has to. I has to adjust, nigga. I'm gonna live till I'm 1,000. Best case scenario.
Best case scenario.
I'm gonna live so fucking long. I have to become more moral. I have to become more morally neutral. I feel like that'd be inevitable. If I'm living forever, I am damn near invincible, and I have to kill people to survive.
I think the dichotomy though of living. I think it was very interesting. Now I don't think the white lady who wrote this really knew what she was doing when she made him a nigger, but I think that it was very interesting watching him fight. See, we talking about it right now.
Well,
I'm here.
Well, that's just a little taste.
A little taste. But I think it was very interesting watching him grapple with the fact that now he's gonna live forever and he's still a nigger. and what that meant, having lived a life as a subjugated being, and now you're, I don't want to say ethnically superior because a vampire is an ethnicity. Yeah. But you're there's
an immortal part of you.
Yeah. So, and you're stronger than anybody around you. You're you are faster. You literally.
They bulletproof?
Yeah. Yeah, because he let that white man shoot him.
Yeah. Okay, so you bulletproof? Hey, I'm showing out. I don't know.
No, but he did, and then they said, okay, nigger boy. They burnt down the black side of town.
Oh, yeah, they did. That is so
So he
true.
was like, so I can't even use this because you fucking crackers.
Because racism is also a vampire. That bitch.
And so, his moral compass was, a little bit skewed because he can't just wild out on any and everybody. And, because he was pissed the fuck off that they were mad as fuck that he accumulated all this wealth and riches and had a white lover who could never seem to run out of money. And so he acted out, and they said, okay, these niggas ain't immortal. They not immortal, bitch.
Oh my god.
And can you imagine that on your conscience forever? Having lived life as a black person, still living life as a black person, knowing literally being able to read these fucking cracker stocks talking about this nigger too big for his britches. I wish he'd go jump off a cliff. Your poker buddy's talking about you fucking Creole bastard.
Ooh, I got a mosquito bite, bitch.
See, that's how it starts. They got her. Would you want to be an interview with a vampire? Well, you've never seen Twilight.
I have seen Twilight. I've read Twilight.
Now that sparkly shit is stupid, but
or a Twilight vampire. I want to be the niggas that aren't mad that they have to feast on people. I'm sorry. First of all, I'm not falling in love with no bitch that I gotta turn into a vampire because I'm not holding that with you because then you're gonna start tripping because you think you want to live forever until you realize what it is. And then what happened when you live forever and your nigga start tripping? And now yo BD on bullshit. Forever. No, forever.
See, that's
I gotta fight with my BD forever. No,
I mean you wouldn't fight forever. Y'all beef probably 60 years. And get over it.
Beef for 60 years. Yeah, because I mean, what's 60 years to a nigga that's 587?
Ooh, what if your nigga cheating? Vampire asshole.
What if you cheat on you with a little human bitch?
Right, and then I gotta wait for this hoe to die.
Or what if you makes her a vampire too?
I'll beat your ass.
First of all,
I'll kill you, nigga. I'll find a way.
I know.
Steak to the heart, old school.
Oh yeah.
The fuck? Wake up from that.
Sizzling my own hand. I would sizzle my own hand just to take you in your bit. I just killed my ass. Not the best idea.
Yeah. What? That's what he That's what he. Ooh.
Baby, mind you, this ain't even what we're supposed to be talking about.
So yeah, Vampiro. Happy Halloween. Oogity boogity. Yeah, I like monster stories. I can't do the.
Oh, what's your favorite monster story?
Now my ADHD, the long-term memory bad, short-term memory bad. I only remember things when I need to. Oh, come on, Bustier. What's my favorite monster?
I watched Monsters University with you, and that was very hard. Monsters University. Mike Lebowski got wow.
Mike Wazowski. Monsters University is actually. I watched it first, and then I went back to watch Monsters Inc. because I was like, oh, love. Ooh. And I actually liked Monsters University better.
Oh, I want to watch Monsters Inc. again to see which one I like more.
We should watch it.
Sully comes from a cop family. I will not be explaining further.
He don't come from a cop family.
He acts like, yes, he does. He has the energy of a cop family.
He comes from a scarer family.
Cop, monster, scaring cop. They're scary cop monsters. He acts like a cop.
That feels profile-y.
Racist to the monsters.
Cause he just big.
No, he acts like a frat boy. He acts like an entitled white cop frat boy. I feel like he had a little. I don't know why they had his hair shaped up the way they did.
Because he's a douchebag.
Yeah.
Dickhead.
It was giving cop boy fade. I don't,
Cop boy fade is so
I don't
funny.
like it.
It didn't give... It gave, like, legacy kid. It gave, like, rich, like, my daddy owns, like, fucking T-Mobile.
But he didn't even have the, like, douchebag, like, piss away rich class. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have... I love the fake microphone that I've adapted for myself to talk about the fact that the family gave cop. It gave, like, 6 generations of NYPD. Like,
Ooh.
6th generation Staten Island. Sorry. Well, y'all be racist out there. Y'all know who y'all are out there. Anyway, shout out to every borough. And fuck Staten Island. That's where all the cops live. Anyway.
That it. I remember going to the DMV and seeing the precinct, and I said, oh.
No.
Ain't this a little dangerous for niggas?
Yeah, fuck Staten Island. Yeah, anyway, he gave cop. He gave cop. I didn't like him.
Did he give cop to y'all? Cop. It didn't give cop to me. It gave douchebag legacy kid, and that comes in various forms. But I feel like if you were more coppy, he'd be more like...
He probably wouldn't have cheated, huh? Well, actually,
yeah.
Well, that's not true, because...
Oh, no, but, like, I feel like he would have been a little bit more morally superior, and he didn't seem that interested in that. He just seemed interested in being... I don't need to know that.
Oh, writing on the family name.
Yeah, I'm rich. My family does this. And they said, all right, nigga. But she sniffed it out.
Maybe I'm just assigning the role of cop because I don't like him in the way that all the cop adjacent people. That is the energy that he gave me, and therefore the energy assigned.
Well, speaking of animated fun stories, the juice this week.
The juice? What's the juice? What's the juice?
Juice this week!
The juice.
We're going to be discussing the Disney movie, the Disney Pixar movie, Elemental. Oh, yeah. So you saw it before me.
I did.
Did you notice anything better the second time? Or, like, different? Or?
That's a good question.
Or you just with the vibe?
I remember watching it the second time and being like, oh, yeah, that's there. And
You just don't remember what it was?
I don't remember.
Well.
But I did. Yes, to answer your question, yes, I did.
Period.
Yes, I did.
She did, yeah.
And that's between me and God.
So the movie Elemental is about... The basic synopsis is in a city where fire, water, earth, and air residents live together. A young, fiery woman and a go-with-the-flow kind of guy discover something elemental. How much they actually have in common.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the more in-depth, but spoiler-free synopsis. And so it's when fire elements... Bernie and Cinder Lumen migrate to Element City, where the story takes place. They face xenophobia from the other classical elements. After the birth of their daughter Ember, they set up their blue flame, which represents their traditions, their faith, and they start their own convenience store called The Fireplace. Several years later, Bernie intends to retire and give Ember the store once she learns to control her fiery temper. One day, when Bernie allows Ember to run the store on her own, she becomes overwhelmed by the customers and rushes to the basement. Her fiery outburst breaks a water pipe, flooding the basement and summoning Wade Ripple, a water element and city inspector, who notes the faulty plumbing and reluctantly goes to City Hall and sends the violation report to his air element employer, Gail Cumulus, that's funny, who will have the fireplace shut down. That's how our story begins. So we start with this fire element girl who her parents migrated here, got it out the mud, made something out of nothing,
And we're one of the first, like, people, like, fire people to kind of come to that part of Element City, and, like, started, like, you see through the passage of, like, them getting there, and, like, Ember's mom is still pregnant with her, like, that they kind of start this sort of neighborhood, and then it grows into the community where fire elements kind of live, where their shops are, where,
and are accepted, because people are very, like, prejudiced towards fire. As soon as we literally got to the opening scene, and, like, we're seeing them travel from their homeland to Element City, and, like, they speak, like, Furnish, which is, like, fire language, and they try and tell their names to, like, the immigration officer, and, like, he's like, why don't we call you Bernie and you Cinder, instead of trying to figure out their fucking names. I immediately knew I was gonna as an immigrant child who began using her English name upon setting foot on the United States, I said, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Because, oh, fuck. That is just a very, like, I wouldn't say it's, like, a classic immigrant American experience, but, like, that was pretty fucking spot on, because when I moved here, I was, like, 8, so I didn't really, like, understand anything. I just knew I was going on an adventure, and it took planes, and I was excited, and I was going to the place in the TV, but there was just something, I think it was when I was signing up for school, my dad asked me to choose between my 2 English names, instead of the name I usually went by back home, which was very interesting. I, like, caught on, but I didn't, like, think too much of it, but I was just like, I never wondered why he did that, but I did notice that he was like, choose between these 2 names that are both English, and I was just like, okay. And, like, my brother went by his English name, my dad went by his English name, my mom has always had, like, an English name, so she didn't really, like, transition, but it was just, like, a very, like, I don't know, it was kind of like an automatic thing to, like, assimilate in that way. And so as soon as the opening scene came up, I was like, fuck. Shit. And then they get discriminated against almost instantly in a city that is literally not thinking about fire at all. They have
not made for fire at all. It's
fire.
made for water, right? Because like even in the first scenes, like you see sort of like there's like these murals on the walls of this like this the very Ellis Island sort of framed like welcoming station for these like elements that are coming in, and like the first people were the water people, and then the earth people, and then the air people, right? And like in the city, so much of the city the main part of the city that you see is designed with water in mind, right? And so many of the water folks you see are like crazy, stupid rich, like, and they live in these like huge high rises, and like for what's the child name? Ember,
yes.
Yeah, Ember, yes, okay.
Yeah.
I was there, okay. But, like, for Ember, right, when she goes into the city, she's constantly, like, putting her head over her head and, like, diminishing herself, quite literally making herself smaller to kind of fit into this world that's, like, not only not made with her in mind, but kind of made to snuff her out. Like,
dangerous,
for lack of a better term. Like, it's dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous for her.
Well, because she lives under the assumption, because, like, when her parents first came in the first, like, 5 minutes of the movie, her mom is, like, pregnant on the train, and, like, they're very overwhelmed, they're very, like, flustered, and, like, they kind of, like, bristle past these people, and, like, they burn them, or, like, they burn the tree, and, like, their leaves kind of shrivel, so it becomes, like, a thing, where people are just like, ugh, like, get away from me. And then, like, the train jostles and water splashes on Cinder, the mom, as she's pregnant with Ember, and Bernie has to, like, quickly feed her so that she can reignite. But, like, it's just very clear that, like, the space was not made for them in mind. When they go try and get housing, everybody shuts them out. No thanks. We don't want you. We don't... You're gonna fuck up our leaves, you're gonna fuck up the vibe, and they end up having to go, like, outside of Element City almost to like
the outskirts.
Like abandoned buildings.
Yeah.
To like make a life, and they do though.
He literally builds everything
from scratch
by hand himself. I think like it was very. I think for me to like kind of watch this as like someone who's not an immigrant, but like many of my good friends are, like I think it reminded me so much of like how y'all have talked about your experiences kind of coming into a place where like it is clear that you are not welcome, or that this is not made for you, or that you are a nuisance to the people that live here or from here, whatever the fuck that means. And like even like in New York City, when you see like how Manhattan is catered for a very certain demographic of people, like you go to the wrong Sweet Green on the Lower East Side,
what are you doing here?
They gonna look at you crazy
in Manhattan. Like,
what are you doing here?
Huh?
This is like if you don't got the La Polo on, what you doing here? Like there are no people of color that are supposed to be in here that are not working, right? And so like I think like even seeing how like thinking about how like segregated New York is, and like how like so many communities have had to be pushed to the outskirts because the center, the beautiful part, the part that's like made of like handcrafted fiberglass, like is made for the water people. It's made for people that were here first, and you know, have it easiest and just can go with the flow, right?
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting. It was really interesting watching the movie for me because a lot of immigrant kids are like third culture kids, so like, or yeah, like they're first generation, so they have like their parents' culture, their culture back home, their parents, and then like their American culture. But I am like kind of a fourth culture kid because like my parents are from two different places, had me in a completely different third place, and then moved to a fourth place.
Gotcha.
And so like I think like how I differed a lot in my experience from like an Ember or the traditional experience of like having foundational community is that they're pushed to the outskirts, but then all the fire people start to move there because they find that it's accepting. And I wasn't really raised around other people, other migrants, other like people who had the similar experience as me. My immigrant experience is still very, I haven't really found a lot of people who share an experience like mine. And so like I found that really interesting because I think it was a very classical immigrant narrative of like kind of a first gen daughter having to like blend the sacrifice of her parents with her understanding, her individual understanding of the world, and like having to put them together in order to find happiness in this new place. And like what does that actually mean? And I thought that was such a like, I don't know, heartwarming and like universal story for even people who aren't necessarily of the immigrant experience, because you know what it's like to be like the first one to go to college, or the first one to like particularly with like Black people in America, like the generations that keep coming because of the history of this country are like, it's a very similar or parallel experience of like having to be better than your parents were, or having to advance farther than what your parents could have because of like the obstacles they had to face. I think it was a very like, it was a very touching story.
And it's a very beautiful story of duty as well. In addition to it being, spoiler.
I was about to wrap up the spoiler. So we're done with the spoiler free section. Into the movie.
Yeah, I think like for it to be a love story, I think thinking about how much duty there is, particularly with her being the oldest girl, right? Like,
and I think she was the only girl.
Like the only child,
but like the oldest,
Yeah, like having to, and like so much like thematically is about her being a good daughter, and like her like honoring the sacrifices of her parents, and like carrying on the legacy, and like how from the time she literally was a conscious being up through her adulthood, she knew and kind of was expected to carry
and accepted.
Yeah, and had fulfilled
with, like, a lot of pride.
Yeah, the role of like taking on the parents' shop and kind of keeping the legacy going and building on top of the sacrifices that they made, so that their work was not in vain. And I think that's a very interesting like point of view, particularly as it like tied in like her responsibility to her family, her responsibility to herself, and love, and like how that can kind of disrupt a lot of the expectations, right? And particularly because the family is so much of what the family's concerns are about is like preservation of what they brought from their old country, what they brought with them.
Especially when it's so easy in this new environment for that to be taken away from you, to be snuffed out, to be taken out, to be dimmed, to be like erased. And even the fact that she struggled a lot with her temper, I related a lot to that experience, particularly because like I think being a Black immigrant is a very specific experience that holds like a lot of I think any immigrant kind of deals with the fact that you can't really necessarily like you can't act like the white people, like you just can't, like, you know that. But I think the experience of having to like make sure that you never really like lose it in spaces that constantly are pushing you to lose it, in school, in this place, someone said something slick, but you really can't react because, and I think like that's an experience that's common for kids of color, period, but like, or Black children, period. But I remember for me particularly, my reasoning, my parents were very like, we're already different. We don't want to give people more reason to ostracize us. So like, because we're different in a way that's like foreign, not even like we're different skin, but we talk different, we sound different. Like I remember people would sometimes act like they couldn't understand my parents, even though my parents have been, I only speak English. My parents were very intentional about that because they're both from countries that have a legacy of colonialism still to this day. And so my parents were very intentional about the fact that I was going to go to international schools and I was going to intermingle with a lot of different people, and English seemed to be the I don't want to say superior language because that's not it, but like the more,
that was kind of their focus.
The dominant, yeah. And so whenever I asked my dad like why he never taught me his language, he was just like, well, I didn't think it was needed because you weren't going to be around kids that spoke that language. You were going to speak English. And my parents are also like from two different places, so their primary languages were different from each other anyway. Right. So like that was kind of just their baseline, is they both spoke English. But like I'm different in the fact that like my siblings each speak a different language and I'm the only one that speaks English. And like I was kind of the only one that had like a pretty firm westernized intention behind my like upbringing, because my parents were just very adamant about the fact that I was going to be Western. And like we're very, I wouldn't say proud when I lost my accent, but they felt like we had finally assimilated when I was able to speak like everybody else. And my mom would, you talk so that like they can understand better, so that they don't act like they can't hear me, or like, or she never interpreted it as people being intentionally ignorant, but I could tell that like, you fucking understand her. It's not that hard. Like It's really not that hard. She speaks perfect English because she talks to me in perfect English. Like it is not that hard to like speak to like not. It's really not. But we also were in a white environment, a white Republican environment that was very ignorant and like very intentional about assimilating and assimilation. And like I think it was just very interesting to like watch that or as I'm watching this, reminisce on that experience and the fact that, like, I too had to deal with a lot of, like, having to suppress my feelings, having to kind of break myself down to ensure that I was digestible, because, like, yes, there were racial factors, but the fact that I was foreign was something that, like the intentionally mispronouncing my name when I say it for you, and then you intentionally mispronounce it, or like the stereotype. The amount of times I got asked, like, if I lived in trees, or like if we showered, or if we had houses, or like,
oh my god.
and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch? Like, I used to watch MTV like the rest of you. Like, I liked our life a little bit better before, because we, like, had a little more, like, and like,
there's a lot of xenophobia that you were
experience, but also it was very isolating for me, because my parents are boomers, so, like, there was just a lot of generational differences, and they never grew up in America, so, like, they didn't understand half this shit.
None of what they was talking about,
and, like, they're already older, so they don't really get it. And, like, my parents came from a generation of, like, they were kind of the first generation post-independence. So they came from a very, like, you know, you get your education, you go to the West, you get money, you get rich, you come home. Like, through your education, you can go anywhere, you can do anything. If you speak their language, if you act like them, if you talk like them, if you're classy, if you're this, if you're that, you can do anything.
Which ain't even true, because America be on bullshit. The way them motherfuckers like to act like degrees gotten in the United States of America are the only degrees to ever exist in the history of the fucking world.
My dad is he was a certified biochemist.
Like,
and had to, like, start working at Walmart. Which there's nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, like, there
was a denouncing of his, like, credentials, because they weren't American credentials.
I feel like I saw that a lot when I like, in the higher education field. Like, you see a lot of students who, like, talk about how their parents immigrated, and, like, oh, my mom was a lawyer, my dad was a doctor, and then we came here, and now they work at, like, the corner store, because like, there's something particularly insidious about the way in which, that, like, America in particular likes to assert that if you do not have something from here, if you do not have something from, or a very select amount of schools in maybe Europe, right? Like, if you went to Oxford, or, like, Cambridge, maybe, like,
or, like, schools in, like, the UK,
right, or in Ireland, or just,
right, like a brother country,
right? Those sorts of things. Like, if you do not get something firmly from the West in that sense, what you have is worth less. And I think it's really interesting, like, you talking about how your experience differed from that of Ember's, where your parents were very invested in you assimilating into this new culture. Her parents were very adamant about her preserving her culture, right? Like, to the point where she didn't even like going into the main city, because like, well, one, she experienced a lot of xenophobia, she experienced a lot of racism, and like, elementalism, like, I don't know, but these, you know, right, like, these are devices for the larger point. But like, she hated going into the city. When she meets Wade, who is this super rich, super watery,
like, I have to do this because that's the rules.
Rich boy, this is my third job, because, you know, I'm kind of spinning out, because, you know, he had a very, like, his parent had passed, and so he was going through a lot of trauma. But like, even the way in which that looks for him, where like, he's spiraling out for something very valid, and like, he's able to fuck off for like 2, 3, 4 different jobs, and like, his mom presumably knows somebody, and like, this is my third job that I've had, and I can't lose this one.
She's well connected, so she's able to plug her son in,
no matter how much he fucks up the job. Versus Ember, who, like, because of her dealing with the same sort of, or not the same sort of, but like, dealing with a great amount of stress in her own right, in her own capacity, who also has an ailing parent, right? She
doesn't get the second chance,
right? Like, and then when she does finally explode in a setting in which damn near anyone would, like, it cost not only everything for her, but for her family, right? And I think,
and
like,
everything they worked for and sacrificed for, and they left their home to build this for me.
Yeah, and I think, like, it really does illuminate the difference of, like, people who do not, you know, and, like, he's a super, like, Wade is this very, very rich character. His family's very rich. They're all, like, artists, and they have all these, like, expensive paint. Yeah, they're emotional, but they're very, like, close-knit, and, you know, they're accepting of each other, right? But, like, even when it becomes clear to Ember that she doesn't want to run the family shop, she's not able to just, like, she's like, well, just tell your dad how you feel. I'm sure he'll understand.
What?
Well, no, the fuck you won't, bitch.
Like,
no, the fuck you won't.
I related to that struggle so much, particularly because as an immigrant, because your parents sacrificed so much, there's a joke about, are you a doctor or a lawyer? Mm-hmm. That's not a fucking joke. Mm-mm. A parent of mine, yes, my dad tried to denounce me several times because it was just very clear that I was not interested in medicine. I was just not good at it. Like, I just wasn't interested. I'm squeamish. I don't like blood. I'm not doing that. Like, I just wasn't interested in that. And, like, at one point, it was just a point of contention for us constantly because, like, in school, back when they cared about the arts, I was very artistically inclined. I was in a lot of art shows, painting shows, like, all that stuff. And he didn't really care because, like, that doesn't really hold merit. And, like, what is a career that is sustainable? Because we gave up everything to come here. And so you're not just going to throw that shit away to be a fucking artist. And, like, it was so contentious for most of my childhood because, like, I grew up here and I grew up around, like, a lot of, like, privileged white kids who just kind of do whatever. And, like, it wasn't that I thought I could do whatever, but I was just very aware of the fact that there was another option and that my parents weren't interested in that other option. Or my father wasn't really interested in that. And, like, even to the point where, like, he became accepting of me my sophomore year at NYU once he watched Black Panther, and he said, okay,
Wakanda forever,
this
baby.
is it's particularly because, like, while, like, it wasn't, that movie was very meaningful to, like, my parents because, like, they'd never really seen, like, African media shown and displayed in such a respectful way, and, like, they went to see it several times because they were just, like, they could relate to it even if the land wasn't necessarily, like, real. They were still able to, like, I get these principles and I get these systems and foundations. And, like, my dad watched it, like, 4 or 5 times because he was just like, and, like, and the concept that, like, you can show that and they broke the record of, like, sales, and they, like, people wanted to see that, and people were interested in that, and people weren't, like, because my dad has faced a lot of xenophobia in his life. My dad has always been a traveler. He grew up in a very destabilized economic situation. My father's Ghanaian, and he was born the year before independence. Like, so he was born into the independent state of Ghana, where wasn't that independent? But, like, he was the first kind of generation of the dream of, like, going to the West, and, like, but first he had to leave his country because there was no jobs, there was no opportunity there, and they were destabilized in the economy and, like, all of that stuff. And he went to South Africa during apartheid, so he was very used to the experience. And my parents had a very, like, complicated experience in South Africa and had to, like, navigate that very, like, intricately until they finally moved to America. That's, like, that's it. That's the dream. That's the goal. That or London. And, like, when he got here, it was just very clear that, like, okay, we're here, we're putting our all into this, and that means, like, there was never really a moment where me and my sibling weren't aware that this was a sacrifice and that the intention was that we were going to be something. And so once he saw that through the career that felt aligned with me, I could be something, he finally felt safe. But it took a lot. It took a Black Panther making 1 billion sales for him to be like, okay.
Oh, okay, this is something you do, yeah.
Yeah.
This is something that can be sustainable.
This is something that can be sustainable. Whereas before, like, when I got into NYU, it was like, okay, Spike Lee goes there. Okay. Spike Lee teaches there. Okay. And it's NYU, so if this doesn't work out, you could just go somewhere else. Or, like, do something else at NYU.
Right.
So it's fine. But, like, the experience of, like, holding constantly the fact that this is I am not walking into the room by myself ever.
Right.
I still kind of hold that a lot.
Yeah.
In the fact that, like, I'm holding the hopes, dreams, sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears of not me,
right,
but others,
right,
always.
Yeah.
And I must live up to that.
And I think we see a lot of that. Thank you for sharing. I think we, like, see a lot of that also in Ember's journey too, right? Like, she literally is so plagued by the idea of being a good daughter and not disappointing her family and just getting her anger under control so she can take on the family business, even though she doesn't really want to work the family business. And, like, I think also, like, she talks a lot about how it was she never even considered that she could be anything more than the fulfillment of her parents' sacrifices. And, like, even Ember, because Ember has a very hot temper, she often explodes, and so she's built this talent for glass blowing because she's used to having to kind of, like, clean up her messes and kind of fix things around the shop, and, like, she's kind of developed this talent for making things. And there is a scene when Ember's invited over to Wade's home and his whole family's there, where a family member, like, accidentally breaks a vase, and she fixes it and she transforms it into this beautiful, like, piece, and everybody in the room is amazed, and
like,
she's like, oh, it's just glass blowing, right? Like, even thinking about how she had to minimize her talent, right? And, like, yes, it was still born out of a necessity. It was still born out of, like, I had to get creative. I had to figure out how to make things work and how to put things back together myself. There's still this huge talent within Ember that, like, she didn't even recognize as a talent because she had only been using it as a means for survival, right? Or, like, it had only been, well, you can do it because it's useful, not because you can make a beautiful art or because you can make pieces, right? And, like, that kind of was when a lot of the cracks started happening for her, when she was like, do I even want to run this shop? Like, is this something that I want to do? I didn't even know that I could use something that I've been doing my whole life and
make a career out of it.
Something fun, something interesting, something that, like, I do all of the time. Like,
yeah, and I also related to the idea that, like, in the end, it kind of takes disaster for her father to kind of, like,
literal life and death.
Yeah.
Literal life and, like, someone had to play die.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Before he kind of, like, simmered down and realized that there's more important things to it. And, like, they always play that card where it's you that's the dream, not this life that we told you every single day was the dream, but you, because you almost died. And, like, right. Whoa.
Contrary to popular belief, we do actually love you more than we love what you can do.
And I related to that as well because, like, it took a lot of me suffering for my parents to kind of be like, okay. Because you had to go through, because the upbringing I went through, I pushed back a lot on my parents' idea that the upbringing I went through was worth the sacrifice that was made, and that, like, I didn't trade something for this life that they gave me in the West, in America, that something wasn't given, because you always have to give something to be here. Like, there's no, you don't just sail for free. And it literally took me, like, getting to a very specific place for my parents to be like, okay, you know what you're doing, and it's you that we care about, not, you know, this degree or this experience, but you. And, like, just that experience of, like, I think culturally her parents weren't really used to doing that, or, like, used to being like, you know, feelings and we love you and all of that. And it came at, like, the expense of, like, we have to see what we're trying to like force our kid to do at the expense of them, and like it's never that much. Yeah. Particularly when Ember's father remembered what it was like to have to leave his country, and his dad being like, no. I don't want you to leave. I don't think it's a good idea to leave. I don't think it's a good idea for you to go.
I don't give you my blessing.
I don't give you my blessing. And like to see a lot of those parallels in the fact that like there's always like
there's a through line to it. Yeah. And I think also seeing that like so much of his intensity towards the shop is probably in his own way trying to prove that he did leave for something, that I did go despite my father not giving me my blessing. I did
make something.
I left everything to make something not only for me but for my family, right? And like have a legacy that was worth it. And I think that also like I think for that not to be a main storyline of the movie, I think they did a good job of like highlighting that like this was not just some like ego driven like I left because I wanted to and you are gonna do something because my moves were smart. It was a very like we moved out of necessity, and I sacrificed a lot, like not only like physically but emotionally, from like leaving your family, leaving your support system, leaving your community, and having to go to this new place where you're not welcome, and having to literally forge your own community, create something out of the ruins, out of scrap, and like creating a very beautiful and vibrant like community. And he had in many ways kind of like started that sort of community for the fire people of like Element City. And like I think it was kind of beautiful to see that like there was something beyond him, like even that like idea of not wanting to disappoint his father and still wanting to fulfill the sacrifice of his people, and how that still influenced a lot of what he was doing in Element City. Yeah, I thought this was a beautiful movie. I really loved it.
All immigrant kids watch this.
Absolutely.
All POC kids watch this.
Yeah. And I love the matchstick love witch mama who could smell love on Ember.
Yeah, because you know that's the ways of her people.
Love on Ember. Fighting with that doorman, trying to get in and see Ember's boob.
And fire, yeah.
Fought to hit it. I think I might throw up.
It was such a funny movie, such a fun movie, and like at the heart of it was just this like theme of what it means to be like true to yourself, to your people, and like in the end the true like wealth of continuing on is so that your child can be able to be a glass blower, whatever the fuck, in this new country, because like that's why you came here. You came here so that she could have opportunities to forge a life that you never even fucking thought of, because like if you had, you wouldn't be here,
right? And
like the notion that like you don't have to necessarily abandon where you come from to keep going, that really touched me a lot as someone who is also in my 20s figuring out my place with this acknowledgement that I didn't come here alone, and that my existence here is not just for me, but I also have to live. I live this life alone in the sense that I don't live this life alone.
But like you have a duty to yourself first.
That is always connected to those before, because the reason why you came here was so that I could grow in a way that you never could have conceived where you were.
And she still carried a lot of those traditions with her, even with the blue flame. Like, right, I think like there's something really beautiful about the blue flame that like represents a lot of the ways of their people, their culture. Like even that being snuffed out, even though they like worked so hard for years to keep it alive, and it being this very external thing. And then, you know, when there's a flood and it's snuffed out, right? Like even after Ember decides to kind of go and do that internship, like, she still carries, like, the ceremonial, like, way of respect that you do to, like, show your parents.
Asking for a blessing.
Right. And, like, so much of that is always going to be with you. Like, I think that, like, it was a very beautiful way of showing that, like, there is nothing that you can do to, like, remove your culture and who you are from you. And so regardless of what your life looks like, regardless of the path you take, regardless of how far you travel from home, you'll never, like, your culture is with you, your people walk with you always in everything that you do. And I think that's a very beautiful film. And I cried both times that I watched it. I sure did, because I am a Wade River masquerading as an Ember. It just, because that's me. I was
blubbered.
I was crying bad, and I knew what happened. I don't care. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really good. We loved Elemental.
It was a great movie.
Definitely the juice.
Yeah, definitely the juice of this week.
Yeah, get you a good squeeze. Yeah.
Yeah, good soup.
All right. Let's go stargazing.
Let's go stargazing. Oh, yeah.
All right, bitch, we gonna make this quick because we've been
gabbing.
Keying. All right, so yeah, let's talk about some of these astrology transits. Let's talk about what's going on in the skies, because man, oh man,
a lot has happened.
So we talked a bit about the lunar eclipses coming up last time, didn't we?
I think we mentioned it, and then it happened.
And boy, did it happen.
Did it happen? For the next, 2 weeks, you're going to be experiencing the effects of the eclipse in the sign of Libra.
This starts an 18-month
cycle. Yeah, for the next 18 months, we're going to be experiencing these periods, these 2-week periods of intense change. For the people who don't know what an eclipse is, because,
what's an eclipse anyway?
Right, what's an eclipse? So this was a solar eclipse where the moon moved in front of the sun, producing, in North America, we were able to see just, the briefest experience of, darkness. Where the moon kind of shadowed the sun, and, in our house, we literally missed it.
Oh my god. It's good. It's fine.
Why is it so dark?
We didn't miss it because we couldn't have looked at it.
We couldn't have, but we did notice that it was dark, and us astro bitches didn't think. We were like, oh, it's the eclipse today.
Talking about the eclipse all week,
it's the eclipse. And then it was dark for 15 minutes, and we were like, why is it so dark? And I was like, is it 11 a.m.?
I was like, is it overcast?
And we were like, yeah, it looks like a cloud is in front of the sun or something. Meanwhile,
whole ass eclipse, bitch.
And so, yes, a solar eclipse is where the moon passes in front of the sun, and why this is relevant astrologically because we track the nodes of the moon as they move with the moon during these eclipse cycles. So in the representation of the moon shadowing over the sun, it represents a time of darkness, but imagine the analogy of it's you turn the lights off and things get quickly rearranged according to fate, because that's the nodes are considered to be celestial points that represent a lot of fateful change. It's kind of the universe kind of giving you hints as to where your soul feels aligned with going based on the themes of the transit. And so over the next 2 weeks there may be a lot of scuffling in your life, rearranging that may feel really overwhelming. How
you feeling?
For me, I'm feeling really good because a lot of my experiences are really internal and revolve around a lot of my internal world and how that reflects in a lot of my like work and creative experiences. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on a lot in these next 18 months. And for me, I had a big moment this weekend where I thought about kind of a lot of the things that were holding me back in terms of my artistic endeavors and interests, particularly because it was in Libra. Libra is a Venusian sign. The sun is in Libra, so like it literally crossed over the sun. Venus rules over the arts, over creativity, over a lot of those things. And for me, I allowed myself to go deep within myself. And this may be a trigger warning for anybody who has suffered from sexual assault or violence or anything like that. Please do not feel pressured to listen to this next part or feel pressured to stick around. We love you regardless. And we can head to different parts of we could just stick in the elemental land and keep it cool. Or skip to the huh?
We didn't tell them the elemental spoilers was over.
Oh, they over.
We'll put in the timestamps.
We'll put in the timestamps. But yes, so if that's something that's very sensitive for you, please don't hesitate to turn us off. We get it.
Take
that's
care
okay.
of yourself, baby.
But I thought back to a very pivotal experience for me about 3 years ago, where I was assaulted in my bed. That I kind of had to stay in for the remainder of my like renting experience, I guess. That kind of just shifted a lot of tectonic plates within myself that I wasn't really able to address at the time because I was literally living in the place where it happened. So I was sleeping in the same bed. I was living in the place, so I couldn't address it at the time. But when you don't really address something, you kind of think that life just kind of moves on, and it does not. It does in literal metric experience, but in emotional experience, the body does keep the score. And like the mind also keeps the score as well, particularly when it comes to something like creativity and expression and the ability to be seen and not feel terror. And so I had an experience where I really allowed myself to dig into that experience, and just see how I feel like the next chapter of my life is calling me, but I can't go to it or go towards it, in the sense that like I can't reclaim my life until I acknowledge where I am and the fact that that happened to me and that I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve that experience. There's no world in which that experience was okay, and that was actually very deeply traumatizing. I tend not to deep the fact that like I stayed in that specific place where it happened, and like as a person who deeply believes in energy and in spirituality and a lot of those things, the kind of decay that can do to a soul, I wasn't able to really magnify on that and how much that can still show up in my life, and in the fact that like I have noticed a specific I have noticed it affect my life in various points, but because of the thematic structure of the eclipses, I focused a lot on like my creativity and my expression, and the fact that I'm feeling very called back to creating and to expressing. And even this was a very big moment for me because I've never really publicly talked about it, and so to speak on it and to speak truth to my experience without fear and without hesitation. I'm shocked I'm not crying. I'm proud. I'm okay.
It's okay if you do.
It's okay if I do, of course, but I think for me, showing that I'm still here and living and like I'll be fucking damned before that bastard ever gets another piece of my life. And like, period. I think for me, yeah, that was where the eclipse led me, and I'm very interested over the next 2 weeks to see how that continues to unfold in my emotional world, particularly because there are a lot of predatory people in the world.
Hey.
And not calling that little demon out allows them to just move, regardless of gender. Okay? Regardless of whatever. There are a lot of freaking weirdos in this world.
There are.
And I think, like, reclaiming my ability to say, no, I'm going to talk about you. So watch where you're stepping.
Yeah.
Because it's not sweet over here.
Absolutely.
Is a very, like, revolutionary moment for me that I'm kind of basking in a little bit. So
yes, congratulations.
I'm proud of myself in that experience.
I'm very proud of you too. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I'm very, very proud of you.
Thanks.
I think you're doing incredible, and I'm so glad that you were able to like really have that revelation and be able to press forward, because that shame is not yours. That guilt is not yours. That weight is not yours. And
I'd like to give it back.
Yeah, tell the truth, shame the devil. And I'm very proud of you for speaking about your experience. And I think you're great. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. What about you? How has this eclipse experience gone for you?
Oh, man. So this eclipse is in my first house. I'm a Libra rising.
Woo.
Bitch. No, honestly, it's been interesting. I think I've been having a lot of like style revelation, just like on a very base level. I think I've been thinking a lot about like how much like I kind of grew up. I'll say that like I didn't have a lot of freedom in terms of like what I was able to wear, how I was able to express myself, like, you know, how I looked, how I presented in particular was under like very close watch. You know, I was a chubby black child in the South. So black feminine child in the South. So it was not a whole lot of like free expression in terms of the style presentation department. I was wearing blazers in the 9th grade.
Woo! So, business cash.
At all times, shoulders covered at all times, Bermuda short.
That's not fair. That's not fair. Shirt. Bermuda shorts is crazy.
I was wearing the polo shirt, like the plaid Bermuda shorts, the like colorful. Yeah, that was where I was in terms of stylistically.
We were getting there.
And if I was wearing a dress, there was something covering my shoulders.
Oh wow.
Period. Yeah, there was no spaghetti strap. There was no shoulders covered.
Come on, shoulders out. Yes.
Oh yeah, reclaiming
her time.
Yeah, so I think like I've been thinking quite a bit about like my own expression and like how I'm in a place now where like I can dress, I can style myself, I can customize my avatar however I would like, and I don't really know what to do with all of that freedom. I don't really know what to do with all that power, and I think where I am now in life is one of the first times where I have not thought of my presentation as a way to satisfy others, but rather a way to satisfy myself and feel beautiful to myself and feel good in my like to myself about how I look. And I think because, you know, Venus is my chart ruler, like how I present, how I look, what makes me feel good, what makes me feel the most attractive does play a big role in like a lot of my life. And also like in my own expression and in my own joy, my own pleasure, my own like, you know, fun. I think now I'm starting to like investigate what it is about changing up my style, because like for the girlies that know me, I have my canon style, and I don't like to deviate.
And it's a great one.
Much for She's
great. Very stylish. Very chic. Great.
Thank you. I'm a classic man. I like what I like, and I think I can get fun with like clothes, but I think particularly with things that are permanent or even semi-permanent is where I really clam up. Like I still
hair tattoos.
Yeah, I to this day do not have a tattoo. I think I talked about getting a piercing for all of my collegiate experience. The only reason I have a piercing is because my friend made the appointment and dragged me there, and I did it. And it's great. I love it. But I don't deviate. Same stud, same style, same color. Hair. It took me literal years to start locking my hair, and it's great now because and even with locking my hair, right? Like, it's been a very long time since I was on a natural hair journey. Well, not that long, I guess. I cut all my hair off that's a while. That was 5 years ago. So I shaved all my hair off, and that was my first, because I never had a big chop before. I never got my hair permed, so I I cut all my hair off.
Start all over.
I was going through the good old college mental breakdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think as I'm going on this lock journey, and my hair is budding, and now they're these little teenager tweens that are very temperamental. There are a couple that just like to stick straight up sometimes, and I have to make sure that they're
fight the power.
Yeah, I do what I want. You don't know me. I do what I want. You can't control me. I do what I want. You're stifling me, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even in this process, I've been very aware of how much placing everything in the right order and looking a very specific way, presentable, because there was a level of presentability that you had to achieve before you were allowed out of the house. There was a check every day, and if your outfit was not approved, you would have to go back upstairs and change. And I think so much of that was still a part of me, and I think now that I'm in this with this lock journey, I hate saying hair journey. It is a journey, but okay, I'm locking my hair, but
lock experience.
Yeah, my lock journey. Okay,
yes,
all right. It just there's just so much incense in the phrase lock journey. That, and I am I'm a very hippy dippy bitch. I'm a very woo girl, but damn,
relax a bit.
It's very I'm burning dragon's blood. Okay, yeah. So, but I say that to say that even with this journey, so much of it is kind of letting myself be okay with my hair just kind of looking how it looks, and allowing it to kind of find its natural form. And I think I spent the first few months of this being so invested and it looking a certain way, and I can't wear my hair out because you can't see my roots, and everything's kind of different sizes and shapes, and everything's kind of doing its own thing. And then
but it looks so cool.
Yeah. And I think now that I have been allowed myself to kind of relax into it and just be okay, dude, it's gonna be fine. They're gonna grow. But you literally just kind of have to let them do their thing and allow it to grow into itself. That, funnily enough, is really helped. It's kind of cracked open this what are the ways in which I felt I couldn't be my fullest self or show up as my fullest self because it wasn't put together fully, or it wasn't, I didn't feel I had the aesthetic or the style, or the way I wanted to show up didn't look how I thought it should look, or how I thought other people would want it to look. And so I didn't show up at all. I would hide myself away or only present the parts of myself that I thought were polished enough for other people to see. And how much of that really affects me and affects my sense of self. And I think this eclipse has really illuminated the ways in which I the parts of myself that I don't allow to be seen because I don't think them to be super favorable, or I'm worried that not everyone will like it. And sometimes everything ain't for everybody, and that's a good thing. And there are some people
that prefer it.
Prefer it. And I also don't want to be everyone's cup of tea anymore. I don't want to be a racist cup of tea. I don't want to be a transphobe's cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a bigot's cup of tea. And I don't want to be you little hotep niggas in the purple and gold with the microphone at the gas station's cup of tea.
Yelling.
You know what I'm saying? But and that's why you got to be careful sometimes too about how far you let this retwist go, because they get real, hey sister, when it gets a little too far between retwists. So you gotta keep a real even clip, because I am not your sis. Anyway,
Black Queen.
Got a pamphlet, trying to hand me a fucking pamphlet while I'm pumping gas. No, nigga, I don't want that shit.
Salami, eggs, and bacon.
Girl, fuck you and Revelations. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit, no end times shit. All them niggas used to get on my nerves. Anyway.
You don't want to talk to Oklahoma?
Don't call, I'm an Israelite. Don't call me black no more. Anyway. But yeah, I think, I've just been thinking a lot about, like, what I'm so worried about people seeing. Like, what about myself do I think is so, like, ghastly that, like, I must present a very, like, polished, perfected, rehearsed version of myself that is safe. And who told me that shit? And why am I still listening to them? And, like, yeah, I think, like, as I'm feeling a new, like, style of resurgence come on, right? I think a big part of really exploring what I want to explore and experimenting in the ways that I want to means, like, allowing myself to, like, not have to be perfect all the time and not have to look a certain way, and understand that, like, I don't have to show up to appease other people. Like, that is not my purpose for showing up. That is not my purpose in the world, to, like, look the part or look presentable or look like enough for other people. I can just be me, and that is enough. And I've learned a lot of that through, like, growing out my hair and, like, just kind of letting things flow. Even because, like, when, you know, we really try to structure some shit that's supposed to be flowing, you be stressed out, and that shit still be flowing anyway. So yeah, I've just been thinking a lot about, like, my how I show up, how I present to other people and to the world, and, like, what the focus does look like currently and what I want it to look like.
That was so insightful. I love that.
Yeah, thanks.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just so when you see me in a new cut, when you see me in a new color, when you see me in a new style, in a new era, bitch, don't say I didn't warn you. It's not me. Don't blame me. Blame the eclipse, girl.
Yeah.
I love that I keep adopting a personal mic for myself.
I just think of, every time you do that, I think about that when you always talk about, like, a person who has a mic is already too loud.
I want one so bad. That is the sole thing that keeps me from buying a personal mic on Scamazon, because I think of that all the time, and I'm like, there's never been a bitch that needed a microphone that bought themselves a personal microphone. Every bitch that owns one
is loud
as fuck, and I just don't know if I'm ready to commit that. And, like, if I commit to it, y'all will just have to pray on my battery's downfall every day.
Because you're gonna hear it.
Y'all are gonna have to pray that there is a shortage of whatever battery that mic requires.
That is so
because
funny.
I will be 7 a.m. on my balcony. Good morning, fair neighbors. I'll put a reverb on that. I don't give a fuck. And so I know that I will a Leo placement and a microphone, bitch. Come on now. If I speak, there's no need for that.
She'll have her own solo gig.
I'm really keeping the balance. There's a delicate balance of the earth, and me getting an Amazon microphone might disrupt it. So I really try to keep it. Keep it P. That said, if someone would like to gift me one,
right,
it would be rude for me not to use it.
And then portable karaoke machines. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
what?
Yeah.
Is there something I can give you? Yeah. Need a maker at 9:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wake it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, like, that's really interesting to kind of hear our perspectives on, like, things that we've been carrying with us for a while. And I think, like, with the South Node.
Yes, referencing that.
Yeah, the South Node in Libra, as we said before, means, like, things that can kind of come easy, but not necessarily can be helpful for the journey that you're on. And, like, the South Node and the North Node have a really good balance, because the South Node are things that kind of come naturally, things that are easier, things that, you know, can be more intuitive or, like, flow easier for you. But the kind of caveat to that is that you can get really stuck in the patterns of those things.
And comfortable in them.
Yeah.
Because they're, like, esoterically known as, like, things you came in with from your past life that you already, like, you've already mastered those things. Like, we've already mastered the perfectionist things and the holding our tongues and just moving through and all that stuff. Yeah. And it's not really beneficial to us in this life, is it? I often forget about the fact that the scale is about relationships and is about give and take. And I think for me, in holding my tongue, I've cut myself off from a lot of relationships and from receiving a lot of relationships. in their authentic experience, because I just like didn't know how to talk about this very tender experience for me. But that's over. That's over with.
That's over with, bitch.
Yeah, my relationship with this thing, I think, is like dead.
Yeah,
Looking for Taylor, bitch. She's dead.
Yeah, and I think like being able to like because I think so much of what like makes you great is like your ability to like express yourself and tell stories and the way that you connect with others. So I'm really happy that like you're doing what you need to do so that you can reclaim that for yourself. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. And I'm excited for you as well.
Thanks.
Because I'm sorry, the Dawn Ziva, she's back, bitch.
She's back, bitch. I think that's a great stargazing. That's a good note to end it on.
Yes.
I
What a
wish
beautiful episode.
pain and despair to all my enemies and love and peace to all my supporters. Thank you.
Yes, in that order.
In that order.
C-A.
Oh, man, we gotta go. Okay. That was stargazing.
That was stargazing, baby. What a beautiful episode. Thank you so much for listening to the If We Speak On.
Y'all.
If We Speak On Say.
If we speak on say.
Where can they find you, Gigi?
You can find me at Gigi Says Yes everywhere that I like to be found at Gigi Says Yes.
Yeah. And if she don't want to be found, you won't find her.
You're not gonna find me under Gigi Says Yes, I'll tell you that much. And yeah, you can follow me on the internet where I am on the internet as Gigi Says Yes.
Yes.
So where can I find you, Binx?
You can find me at Itsy Bitsy Binksy. Yes, like the Itsy Bitsy spider, but I'm not a spider, so Itsy Bitsy Binksy, bitch.
Yeah.
Everywhere I like to find a what?
Hello?
Huh?
Where can they find you?
You can find me. Oof. I'm sorry, y'all. It's a work day. Oops.
Yeah.
You can find me at Itsy Bitsy Binksy, like the Itsy Bitsy spider, with 2 Y's. Yeah. Everywhere that I like to be found on the internet, which is pretty much everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You will find me there.
Yeah.
And enjoy what you see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And follow our podcast.
Yes.
We are well and good in these streets, so we will be back and better than ever each time. So follow us at If We Speak Pod. It's podcast, but sometimes they don't like the full word, so pod will work. And on all platforms, and this episode will be streaming on all listening platforms. Please tune in. Yes.
Oh yeah. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.